Four Tennessee players heard their names called during the 2025 NFL Draft, and we'll be looking at how Tennessee will replace each of those players, starting with the first-round pick, edge rusher James Pearce Jr. Hey, Lucas Panzica here from 104.5 The Zone and A to Z Sports. So, James Pearce Jr. is a late first-round pick. He's headed to the Atlanta Falcons after 7.5 sacks last season, a guy that really led the charge for Tennessee's pass rush on the outside and had all the traits imaginable for a first-round pick. He is out the door, and Tennessee has to find a way to replace that production in 2025. So, how do the Vols fill that gap left by James Pearce Jr.? Well, the lead returning sack getter on the edge for Tennessee from 2024 is Joshua Josephs, who only picked up 1.5 sacks last season. And that's not to say that Josephs was an unproductive player for Tennessee last year. He opened up a lot for James Pearce Jr. and was effective and disruptive coming off the edge for the Vols in 2024. If you think back, Joshua Josephs came in at the same time as James Pearce Jr. and actually was a more highly recruited player than James Pearce Jr. as a 4-star prospect coming in and got more playing time than James Pearce did in their true freshman season. So Joshua Josephs had to kind of sit back and watch James Pearce Jr. race by him as a draft prospect and ended up going as a first-round pick. So for a guy like Joshua Josephs, you've got to think, in his mind, 2025 will be his time to take that leap and potentially work his way into that conversation as an early round draft pick at the edge rusher position. They're going to need him to take a big leap in 2025. You look at another highly recruited blue chip guy in Jordan Ross, a former 5-star prospect that got the majority of his playing time as a freshman last year on special teams. And then there's Caleb Herring, who goes into his third year with this program, was the #1 player in the state, a 4-star edge rusher out of Riverdale High School in the Murfreesboro area when he was coming out. So Tennessee's edge rusher position right now is filled with players that were blue chip 4- or 5-star prospects, highly recruited guys coming out. That means they've got traits, they've got athleticism, and they've got tools to make a big impact. It's just unproven right now. And really, that colors the entirety of Tennessee's football team. It's kind of a microcosm of what the Vols are right now as an overall roster. Talented, but unproven. The edge rusher position kind of exemplifies that on the defensive side of the ball. Tennessee may have to generate some pressure from the interior as well. They return a lot of defensive linemen from that deep rotation last year. So there's no question the front seven should be a strength for Tennessee in 2025. But when you look at the unproven levels of that defense, edge rusher is at the top of that list. You like what Tennessee has coming back in the secondary, especially at corner with established guys. You like what Tennessee has coming back on the interior of that defensive line, even after losing the likes of Omar Norman Lott, Elijah Simmons, and Omari Thomas to the NFL. But the edge rusher group is extremely talented, just unproven. Joshua Josephs, Jordan Ross, and Caleb Herring are the main three that are going to have to step up and take a big leap to fill the void left by James Pearce Jr., who's off to the NFL as a first-round pick.